everyone, and welcome to our Milne call today. We are going to be discussing comprehensive literacy plans and getting you from draft to done in a really seamless process. So, first of all, I'm joined with a couple of other people. I'm going to introduce myself and then they'll introduce themselves. My name is Rebecca Kessler. I am our lead special education consultant here with Step Up. I have experience as an assistive technology director. I worked in a special education real world learning setting, which was a ton of fun. I've taught first grade through high school, so a little bit all over the place. And I'm really excited because I have a background in coding and computer stuff. And so I was able to really build this tool along with our team. There were other people that were the mental brain work around the tool, but we built some really cool functions that I think are going to make it a really positive experience to quickly build your comprehensive literacy plan.
My name is Jessica Gray, and I'm the lead literacy consultant at Step Up. Some of the time I spent, most of my time in teaching was in the classroom, teaching K-6. I taught in a lot of rural districts where I got to kind of hop around. I was I would say lucky guinea pig because I always enjoyed being the person to kind of flex those roles when needed. So it gave me a lot of clarity on how some of our standards are progressing from grade level to grade level. But I spent several of my years working in title reading and math. And I loved that time. And during that time, I got really familiar with reading success plans and trying to navigate our CLPs. And so some of that work kind of has come here full circle. And we had some really great clients of ours reach out and say, we need some help with the organization. So I'm hoping today, when you see our tool, you're going to see that organization come through and see how we can help streamline some of those processes that need to be done for your CLPs.
Thanks, Jess. So for today, we are going to look at the vision behind the tool, the power of having a CLP builder where it's done and ready for you, some of those key features, and then the resources that come with your purchase. So we had some schools reach out that are using the tool currently that asked, is there a way to get this? And so later I'll show you what that is just to build some anticipation. The support that you can receive with Step Up, and then any questions or next steps from anyone here at the meeting today. So first, actually, Jess, would you mind talking about this? Because you were the mastermind that worked
Yeah.
really closely with that school.
We had a school district reach out, but in my time, right before I came to work full time for Shauna with Step Up and take this role, we started, the district that I left started working on and looking at these comprehensive literacy plans. We knew that they were coming. We were really overwhelmed with the process in general. Where do we start? How do we get this together? How do we make sure we've met all those components? And as the guidance started coming out, we had some districts reach out to us and say, we really need some help with the organization. We know what we have to do, but we're really overwhelmed with how to get started, especially some of our rural districts who we maybe have one lead person who's kind of in charge of driving the mission. So we really got together and said, all right, how can we take what the state's given in guidance and streamline that process like what we've done with our curriculum management tool, and help districts expedite some of those conversations. We want the focus to be the conversation and what's going to drive the change versus it being the how do we get this on paper. So that's really kind of the why behind the tool, is how we can help expedite that process for you and really improve your literacy for all students and that vision that you have for your district.
And since we've had some districts that have purchased and are currently using the tool, what I've heard from some districts with feedback is that we, as a district, we knew what to do for like our K3 or K5, but thinking really holistically from those kids that we have in pre-K all the way to 12th grade, how are we serving their literacy needs and prioritizing that across their lifespan? And so our tool helps support that structure. So if you've already done some work, our tool will help you complete that for the entirety of what the DESE guidance looks like. So some of the power in some of the tools is that we have checkboxes to very quickly select your building goals and they copy them instantly into the builder. There's auto-generated action steps that align with your goals and paste directly into your template. So once you make a selection, it will go in all the locations it potentially needs across your CLP plan. And then there's also pre-written state language that's ready to integrate into your document. So rather than having to go through, all of the PDFs on DESE's website to find all that information, because it's really good information, but Jess did a really great job of disseminating all of that. So we had all the necessary parts and pieces holistically in one tool. So as you go through, if it says, Desi says, this might be a good thing that you could do in relation to this goal, we have all of that provided for you. So you don't have to go out and seek and find that. And so a few things about what it does and does not do. So it is a fast tracking tool to process the development, but it does not replace your local control or it doesn't know your district's needs. So as you're having those internal conversations, you still have the ability if you see a potential goal and you're like, well, we like that, but we'd like it to look a little different, you're still able to change it. But it comes with all that guidance language to support those conversations. It does include all the necessary components of the CLP, so we've gone through those really long, lengthy PDF documents and made sure that we have all of the necessary components and pieces that would be required within your CLP. But it doesn't restrict you having additional components. So if you want to have special sections or categories or more information than what's required from DESE guidance, maybe that's to provide your board or your local community, you're welcome to add that as well. It does lead your team through developing the process. So the districts that are currently using it, they're able to get together with their literacy team and make really quick checkbox selections. And they said that it doesn't make those decisions for you, but it does make it really quick to get through those conversations really succinctly versus getting stuck on one tiny piece that doesn't unlock the rest of it. And then it does encourage reflective conversations. So we'll look at some of the guidance once we get in there, but it does not replace those conversations. So what we would not advise you to do is to take this tool as an administrator or as a superintendent and to just make all the selections yourself and build the CLP. It's a document to support those collaborative conversations. So we're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive in so that we can see what that tool looks like and exactly what it does. Okay, we can still see. There we go. Okay. So on this first page, and Jess, you can call out anything that you think is necessary that I leave out. So on this first page, we have links to some of those DESE documents. So if you wanted to go back through and look for how to prepare your comprehensive literacy plan, this is that direct link to that document. And then here we also have the framework for self-assessment. So as you're going through step 2 and making those determinations, you can review what DESE has available there. A little bit further down, we have our dashboard. So this has all of that table of contents. So we've got our needs assessment domains. There are 6 of them that you need to go through. And then down towards the bottom, we also have vision structure, identification of priority needs. But as you click these, it will fast forward you in the document to whatever that tab is, or you could navigate by sliding across the bottom or using these arrows. So while we're here, we can see here, we've got some check boxes available. When you're having these conversations, if we wanted to check this box for reviewing literacy curriculum, we would be saying that our district does all of these things. And so if they do these in a sustainable way, then we would check this box. So I'm going to make a couple of selections and then I'm going to zoom us forward to the CLP document. This is what you would be able to print and get board approved. And if I scooch on down to that section we were just in, we can see those 3 checkboxes that I selected now populate in our actual CLP. So as a district and as a curriculum or a literacy team, we would go through these 6 sections. And so we've done all of our evaluations, we look through and we do our needs assessment. Then we would be ready for our vision and structure. So from here, we can add our names. And then we have some potential roles. A person can fulfill more than one role and not all the roles are required. So for here, I might say Jessica is our building administrator, and she also happens to be a parent. So I can see that she fulfills those 2 roles. We can go on down and do how we engage stakeholders. So our community members, our local business partners, if there's community organizations that we work with, we can fill that in here. We've got our continuous improvement process. And if you already have that located in another document, you can copy and paste some of that over. I had a client that asked, well, we already did something like that for our RSP document. Can we pull that over here? And absolutely, yes, you can. Then we've got our literacy vision statement. So for here, we can either complete the gray and fill out the gray, or we can use a link to our guidance document. So we can describe how we do the RSPs, how a student exits the RSP, or we could link our guidance document. So if you already have that available on your district documents, you could just provide that web link, which is also the same for our dyslexia screening and supports. A little bit further down, we have our evidence-based resources. So you would only include the resources that you use in your district. So if you've purchased curriculum, you use free curriculum, you've made your own curriculums, you can type all of that information in here. And then at the bottom of this page, we also have our professional development efforts. So these are check boxes, but it's also customizable. So if you say, well, we offered specialized phonics training. Great. We did that. We click the checkbox. Whatever is click and checked here again, so that entire page that we just did will show up in our CLP document. So we've got what our plan is designed to do for foundation and vision, the members of our team, what their roles are. This would all auto paste in here for you with your continuous improvement plan. This would all come over. And then here, like you can see, I added that specialized phonics training. That's right here. So anything we check. So that's our vision and structure section. And then our last section is our identification of priority needs. So for here, I'm going to clear these for just a second. Our focus area and domains are one of those 6 sections that we did our needs assessment on. So from here, once I select one like assessment, then I get to select a priority need. These ones again are provided by DESE, so we've used their language. So for assessment, it might be one of these subcategories. So if I say I want to do data-driven reflection, our action for priority needs, it will populate and say it's one of these 2 things. We can decide as a district which one of these is going to be our focus goal. So I'm going to select one of them, and then we're ready to complete our rationale, how we're going to support that goal internally, resources, timeline, and all of that will again populate over on your CLP. So we are going to pretend this document is done. So whenever it's done and it's ready for board approval, and we click that we're going to print it, we can get rid of the grid lines. We don't have any notes. And now we have a fresh, clean document that is all ready to go for board approval. So we can print this and put the date on it and then post it on our school website, and we are good to go. One thing that we added was a CLP cover sheet. So this one, I'm going to do the print view. For this one, you can update this with your school logo. You can change the district name. It will auto import all of those people that are on your literacy team that you already added in your vision and structure section. And then you just change the date for when it's board approved. So those are some of our key areas in there. Okay, so resources that are included with your purchase. You first get access to the comprehensive literacy plan. So you'll get a link that will live in your Google Drive or your OneDrive. Once you have that, it shows you how to open it, edit it. All the directions are made visually and like written out so you can know what to do. And then further down, we also have a Google form for school-wide needs assessment. So if you would like to send this out to your entire staff or you want to send it out to families or other stakeholders, this was something that we added later because we had a district reach out and say, hey, do you have a form that we could use? So we've included a form. It's included with your purchase. That form, again, once you receive the copy of that, it'll live in your Google Drive. We will not have access to that. So if you ever need help or support, you would be able to share it back with us. Then there's a literacy plan template. So there's customizations for fonts and colors, and if you want to add your logo, and if you want to add any text or language, and there's written and verbal directions for each step. So you would receive one document at purchase, but it would give you access to these multiple documents. And then some support, we offer technical support and facilitation support. So although we think that this tool is really simple to use and leads your team through this process, if you wanted a step-up consultant to come support your district through this to make it even faster, because we know whenever we do our, like some of our other trainings are about a half day to a full day, this would take about a half day with a consultant to work with you. So we could come with your literacy team and help you build out the entire comprehensive literacy plan from start to finish, and you would be completely done. So if you were to need technical support or facilitation support, you can reach out to your consultant or info@stepupconsultingservices.com. And so some next steps for you, if you're interested in this for your district, you can go to stepupconsultingservices.com/CLP Builder. It's also just in our literacy section. So if you go to our regular website and click literacy, you're going to find it there. When you purchase, you'll get an immediate PDF download It'll walk you through all of those steps that I just showed you a little bit earlier. So with that, if we have any questions, if you want to put those in the chat, or Jess, if you feel like I forgot anything and you want to call out any additional information.
I think you covered it all pretty well. But yeah, feel free to put questions in the chat if there's anything you want to see close up or unmute. We're happy to show you anything else. Again, if there's something else you want to see.
Okay, and then we can wait for questions or we can pause recording just a second so we can get through any questions that someone has off of the call. But we wanted to say thank you for your time today. And if you have any questions or need support, you can reach out to either Jess or myself or just info@stepupconsultingservices.com. Hopefully, our comprehensive literacy plan builder can help you in your district expedite that process to get a good CLP. It's in place. It helps provide that guidance for your team to really provide good support and services to your students.